I swear on every malfunctioning space toilet in the Galactic Union. The day the Emperor sent me a gift was the day my life officially stopped making sense. The message came in one of those obnoxious golden data cubes, the kind that screams wealth, arrogance, and probable tax evasion. It rattled around the cargo bay floor while I was repairing the coolant pipes, flashing bright pink. Pink, the universal color for either romance or danger. Typical alien diplomacy. I wiped grease off my hands, picked it up, and the cube bloomed open like some overly dramatic stage performer. Intergalactic mechanic Marcus Hale, the cube, announced, voice dripping with sass. By decree of Emperor Vernix of the Aximorian Empire, we present you with a diplomatic goodwill offering. Goodwill offering, I muttered. Last time he sent a goodwill offering, it was a bomb shaped like a fruit basket. The cube continued. You are hereby granted possession temporarily of Princess Zelara, Duchess of Lunar Rings, Keeper of Royal Glamour, and she who can bench press a hover tank. I blinked, what? And then the air in front of me shimmered, sparkled, and Foomfa, tall, curvy, absolutely purple alien woman materialized in the cargo bay. Not the delicate, elegant type of alien princess I'd imagined. No, she looked like she'd been carved out of beautiful space amethyst in gym discipline. Thick thighs, toned arms, silver armor straps, hugging her focus, Marcus diplomacy, taxes, galactic peace. Yes, she placed a hand on her hip, which was unfairly hypnotic. Greetings, human mechanic, she said, voice smooth like honey that could break your spine. I am Princess Zelara, and apparently, I am yours. I choked. Wait, mine. That can't be right. Oh, it's right, she said, looking around with a mix of curiosity and judgment. Mostly judgment. My father thought sending me to live with a human would be comedic. She rolled her eyes. He calls this his intergalactic prank season. I rubbed my temples. He sent you as a joke. Indeed. She leaned closer. Humans are small, strange, adorable creatures. He expected me to bully you, or frighten you, or sit on you accidentally. Please don't sit on me. No promises, she said sweetly. Depends on my mood. The data cube closed itself with a rude-sounding bloop and scurried away, leaving the two of us staring at each other like someone had mismatched puzzle pieces. She flicked her silver hair behind her shoulder. So, human Marcus, are you planning to show your owner duties now, or later? I don't have owner due wait. What does owner duties mean in your culture? She smirked. Feeding me, housing me, praising me at least twice a day, and providing entertainment as in, she wiggled her eyebrows. Nope, no, I'm not, we're not, there's no. Her smirk grew wider. Relax, little human, I tease. Aximorians enjoy humor, especially humor that makes someone turn red. I'm not turning red, I said, turning extremely red. She walked past me, hips swaying like a malfunctioning gravity generator. Where shall I sleep? Your bed looks small. I might break it. I'll sleep on the floor. Why would you do that? Because you look like you could break me too. Also, not impossible, she said thoughtfully. I groaned. The galaxy hated me. But then something unexpected happened. Her expression softened, just a little. I am sorry, Marcus, she said gently. My father thought sending me to a human would be humiliating, a punishment, but I do not wish to make your life difficult. I frowned. So you didn't volunteer for this? I did not, she sighed. My father believes my size is unbecoming for a princess. He prefers dainty royal daughters. I prefer lifting plasma engines. Unexpected sympathy tugged at my chest. He sent you to me because he thinks you being chubby is a joke. Her eyes flashed with anger and pain. Yes, in Aximorian culture, bulk is beauty. But my father is traditional. He wants thin, decorative daughters. Not me. Well, he's an idiot, I said without hesitation. She blinked. You insult the Emperor. I call things as I see them. She stared at me for a long moment, then started smiling. Slowly, wickedly. You are bold, she said. I like bold. Oh no. She moved closer, towering over me just enough to be intimidating but somehow comforting too. You know, Marcus, she said, I expected you to be terrified. A trembling little human, she touched my chin lightly, and I nearly forgot how lungs work. But you're charming. I backed up until I hit a crate. WLIO tree. Good, she tapped my nose. Do not break. I hate fragile things. Fragile things like my sanity. Apparently, I cleared my throat, right? So, since you're here for however long the Emperor thinks is funny, I guess I'll show you around the ship. She followed me through the corridor, examining everything with fascination, like a kid in a candy store if the candy store was filled with sharp tools and loose wiring. What does this do? She asked, poking a plasma calibrator. Please don't touch that unless you want us both to become glowing dust. She stepped back. I'll touch it later. No night later either. We passed my workshop, filled with half-repaired machines, leftover parts, and a distinctly human smell of coffee and panic. She sniffed the air. Your habitat smells like burnt hope. That's coffee. She frowned. Humans consume despair, extract voluntarily. It's complicated. As we reached the engine room, Zelara suddenly grabbed my arm, pulling me close. My brain short-circuited. Is something wrong? I asked. I heard something. She narrowed her eyes, scanning the shadows. Your vessel is not alone. I swallowed. Like, in a haunting way, or, in an enemy ship-boarding way, a lurking way. She stepped forward, muscles tensing. Show yourself. A mop fell over. We stared at it. Your enemy is a stick with hair, she said flatly. It was a threatening stick with hair. She sighed dramatically. Humans. But then she laughed. Really laughed. A deep, warm sound that made my chest do weird fluttery things. Marcus, she said, I think this stay might not be the punishment my father expected. That makes one of us. She leaned in, whispering near my ear. Do not worry. I will not crush you accidentally. That's reassuring. Only intentionally. Not reassuring. She smirked, satisfied. We reached the small dining alcove, and I grabbed ration boxes. Zelara sniffed hers, grimaced, and looked at me like I was offering her edible despair. This is not food, she declared. It is, technically. She opened the box. It looks like sadness compressed into a cube. Again, technically food. She pushed it away. I require something better. I spread my hands. Well, princess, unless you can cook, this is all we've got. Her eyes lit up. I can cook. Oh great, I said. She pointed at the plasma torch. Hand me that flame-throwing thing. Maybe great was too optimistic. But to my surprise, Zelara cooked. And it was amazing. Spicy. Smoky. Rich alien cuisine that made my mouth feel like it was exploring a new galaxy. At one point, I coughed, and she patted my back so hard I nearly flew across the room. Delicious, she asked proudly. I can't feel my tongue, but yes. She smiled, and not a teasing smile, an honest one. It made her look beautiful, warm, soft, someone who'd been treated unfairly for too long. We sat there for a moment, eating quietly. Then she looked at me, eyes curious. Marcus, why did you not recoil from me? I blinked. Why would I recoil? She gestured at herself. I am large, purple, armored, alien. I work with malfunctioning star reactors for a living. You're the least terrifying thing I've seen this week. She chuckled. Good answer. But she looked touched, deep down, like no one had ever said that to her. After dinner, I showed her the spare room. She inspected the bed, pressed it once, and nodded. It will hold. That's comforting. She turned to me, expression suddenly serious. Marcus, I must warn you. About what? Oxymorian princesses are intense partners. I choked on air. Partners. We're not, I'm not, you're not. She held up a hand. I said, if calm down, little human. You look like a star ferret caught in a gravity cyclone. That's accurate. Her eyes softened again. I do not intend to claim you, not unless you desire it. My face combusted. Okay, well, that's. She stepped back, giving me space. Good night, Marcus. Good night, Princess Zelara. She paused at the doorway. Call me no titles. Then she disappeared into the room, leaving me staring at the empty doorway like an idiot. As I crawled into my own bed that night, my brain replayed her laugh, her smile, the way she defended herself against insecurity with humor, the way she made me feel seen, not judged. Maybe the Emperor had sent her as a joke, but I wasn't laughing. I was curious, dangerously curious. And that was how the chaos began. I woke up the next morning to the sound of something heavy moving in the cargo bay. Heavy as in the ship is being rearranged by a vengeful deity. Heavy. My first thought was pirates. My second thought was Zelara doing. Zelara thinks. My third thought was, oh no, she's lifting the engine again. I rushed out of my cabin half asleep, dragging my jumpsuit zipper up, and skidded into the cargo bay and froze. Zelara was bent over a crate the size of a small house, lifting it like it weighed nothing. Her armor shifted, her muscles flexed, and her back. Well, let's just say it was the kind of back that made a man reconsider the meaning of life. She turned her head slightly. Good morning, little human. I did not squeak, that I coughed. A very manly cough. Morning, I said, pretending I hadn't just gotten jump-scared by her butt. What are you doing? Breakfast exercises, she said, hoisting the crate above her head like she was showing it off to an invisible audience. Humans are fragile. I must stay in my peak condition, in case I need to defend you. I didn't ask for defending. You also do not ask for medical checkups or vitamins, yet you desperately need them. I put my hands on my hips. I'm not fragile. She lowered the crate and walked toward me with slow, deliberate steps. Marcus, oh no. She was using the tone that meant I was about to get roasted. You fainted yesterday because you inhaled cooking smoke. I was surprised by the spice level, and you tripped on your own toolbox. That toolbox came out of nowhere, and you screamed when a cleaning drone beeped at you. It beeped aggressively. She leaned down until her face was inches from mine. So yes, fragile. I opened my mouth to protest. She pressed a finger to my lips. She let me have this. She walked away smugly. It was unfair, deeply unfair. Okay, I said, trying to recover my dignity. What's the plan today? Your ship is inefficient, she said matter-of-factly. I stiffened. She is not inefficient, She's vintage. She rattles when idle. She purrs when comfortable. She leaks coolant. I paused. Okay, fine, she leaks a little coolant. Zelara crossed her arms. I am fixing your ship. Wait, she gestured to a spread of tools laid neatly on a bench. I reorganized everything. Your system was chaotic. I blinked at the precision layout. Tools arranged by size, weight, and probably emotional stability. How long have you been awake? For hours. For hours. I exclaimed. You reorganized my entire ship in 4 hours. She tilted her head. Was I not supposed to? No, I mean yes. I didn't mean you couldn't. I needed coffee first. Her lips curved into a smug smile. Ah, the despair extract. It helps me function. Zelara handed me a mug. I blinked. You made me coffee. She shrugged, as if it were nothing. But her cheeks had a faint glow. I attempted it. I tasted it to ensure quality. I stared at her. You drank coffee? She nodded solemnly. It tasted like sadness and burnt soil. That's how you know it's good. I do not understand humans. Welcome to the club. We shared a rare, quiet moment. Then she ruined it. Drink it, she commanded. I obeyed. The coffee was perfect. I didn't say it out loud. She already looked proud enough to power the ship. So, Marcus, she said, eyeing me over the mug, what do humans do for fun? I opened my mouth. She continued before I spoke. And before you say paperwork, taxes, or existential dread, something actually fun. I thought about it. I watch hollow films sometimes. What kind? Comedy, drama, some romance. I paused. Okay, mostly romance. Zelara's smile turned wicked. Romance, human romance. It's relaxing. It is ridiculous, she countered. I saw human romance on the ship's database last night. I squinted. Which one? The one where the woman falls in love with the criminal who sparkles. Oh no. Yes, she said, eyes sparkling with mischief. That one. That is not representative of human romance. She stepped closer, grinning, like doom. Tell me, Marcus, do you sparkle in the sunlight? I know, she said, pretending to examine me. You look like you bruise easily. I don't bruise easily, I said defensively. She reached out and poked my arm with one finger. I winced. She raised a brow. Yes, very resilient. Look, Zelara, humans we don't. We're not meant to withstand being poked by alien warriors. She thought for a moment. Then I will poke you. Softer. I had no comeback for that. She clapped her hands once. Enough talk. She pointed at the engine core. We are fixing this today. Yes, you and me. Why me? You need training. And I enjoy watching you struggle. I groaned, but she tossed me a toolkit with such precision that I caught it without dying. Let us begin, she said, pulling her hair back into a loose braid. First lesson, do not stand directly under the engine casing while I lift it. That's common sense. You would be amazed. Marcus, we worked together for hours. Well, together in the sense that she did everything effortlessly while I tried not to get crushed by falling parts or my own toolbox. At one point I slipped while climbing the maintenance ladder. I prepared to hit the floor, but Zelara caught me with one arm. Icily. My entire body froze. Her arm wrapped around my waist, her hand pressing the middle of my back. I could feel the strength in her grip, warm, solid. Safe. You are reckless, she murmured. Strong, she smirked. I know, you also smell nice. She paused, I paused. We both realized I said that out loud. Marcus, she said slowly, are you attempting human flirting? No. Yes, maybe. I don't know, I panicked. She laughed. Loud, delighted, completely You panic adorably. I wasn't panicking. You squeaked. Stop saying I squeak. I don't squeak. She leaned closer, staring into my eyes. You squeaked. I swear she enjoyed bullying me more than breakfast. She set me down gently, like I weighed as much as a pillow. We continued working, but something had shifted. A tension, a spark. A heat I pretended not to notice. Zelara handed me a tool, and her fingers brushed mine. Accidentally. Maybe. Probably not. I swallowed. She tilted her head. You are warm, Marcus. Humans run warm. She leaned closer again. Do all humans get warmer when near someone they find attractive? I almost swallowed my tongue. I know. Yes. I'm not. That's not. She interrupted gently. Marcus, I froze. Her expression had softened. Not teasing. Not mocking. Gentle. Double quotes. I am not offended, she said. If you find me attractive. I stared at her, speechless. She waited. And waited. And finally, I croaked out. You're beautiful. Her eyes widened. Just slightly. Then her cheeks glowed bright amethyst. She looked away quickly. Do not say things like that casually. It wasn't casual, I said quietly. Silence hung between us. Heavy, charged. Finally she cleared her throat. Let's finish the engine. We worked again. Quieter. No jokes, no teasing. Just awareness. At noon, she made lunch spicy alien stew that nearly murdered me again. I took a sip and instantly regretted every life decision. Zelara leaned on her elbow, chin propped on her palm. Too spicy for you. No, I lied. Sweating rivers. This is fine. You are turning red. That's normal human coloration. You are vibrating. That's also normal. She reached over and wiped a bead of sweat from my cheek with her thumb. You truly try so hard. It's either that or die. I admire the effort. We ate together, our knees brushing under the table. Each accidental touch felt less accidental, more deliberate, more dangerous. After lunch, she decided to teach me self-defense, and by teach, I mean she threw me across the training mat repeatedly. You are too slow, she said, shaking her head. I'm human. You are unbalanced. I'm human. You lack footwork. I have feet, at least. You're built like a space tank. She smirked. A tank you like. Stop saying things. She stepped closer again, cornering me with ease. Marcus, she said softly, I am teasing you, but I do not wish to hurt you. Tell me when to stop. Her voice was gentle. Too honest. I'll tell you, I whispered. She nodded. We trained slower after that, closer, more hand. If you could call it that. She corrected my posture by grabbing my hips. She adjusted my stance by guiding my elbows. She leaned over me at one point and whispered, You smell like fear. That's my natural scent today. By evening, the tension between us felt like a live wire. She finally stepped back. You did well, she said. For a fragile human, thanks. I think she hesitated. Then she said something unexpected. Marcus, you do not fear me. I blinked. Should I? Most humans do. I am large. I am strong. My people conquered entire star systems. I fix engines for pirates. You're practically a comfort pet. She snorted. I am no one's pet. I didn't say you were mine. She stopped, looked at me. Nor did you say you are not. She whispered. I opened my mouth. She closed the distance instead. Not touching, but close enough. Marcus, her voice low, soft, careful. Will you allow me to stay near you tonight? Not as an Axamorian princess, as Zelara. My heart stopped. Restarted. Beat twice as hard. Zelara, I said quietly, you can stay wherever you want. Her eyes warmed. Good, then I choose to stay here, near you. We stood there, breathing the same air, like idiots waiting for the universe to push us together. But it didn't. She stepped back, giving me space. Tomorrow, she said, we talk more. Tonight, we rest. I nodded slowly. Yeah, rest. She walked to her room, looked over her shoulder, and said one last thing. Sleep well, Marcus. And, thank you for calling me beautiful. I swallowed hard. You're welcome. The door slid shut. My heart absolutely refused to calm down. If this was the Emperor's joke, he had no idea how badly it was backfiring. I woke up the next morning feeling like someone had replaced my spine with a rusted metal rod. Every muscle hurt. My ribs hurt. My hair hurt. Even regrets I hadn't made yet hurt. Why? Because Zelara decided training meant throwing me around like a stress ball with legs. I rolled out of my bunk, groaning like a haunted door hinge. The ship was quiet, suspiciously quiet. The kind of quiet where one starts questioning whether the alien princess accidentally punched a hole through the hull again. I stepped into the hallway and sniffed food. Actually, good food, which immediately scared me. I followed the smell to the tiny galley and stopped in the doorway. Zelara was standing there in nothing but a silver chestplate and a wrapped cloth over her hips. Her back was bare, her skin glowing violet under the warm lights. She was reading the instructions on a cooking terminal like she was deciphering ancient runes. Her ears twitched. She didn't turn around. You were staring. She said, I'm not. I lied automatically. You are, she repeated, stirring something with a spoon that was too small for her hand. Your breathing changed. I didn't know you could hear that. I hear everything you do, she said calmly, still not turning around, including when you talk to yourself at night. I choked. You mutter strange things. Don't die, Marcus. Why are the shelves so high? And Zelara, stop looking at me like that. I internally imploded. She finally turned, one brow raised, a faint smirk on her lips. Tell me, Marcus, what look was I giving you? Probably the look you're giving me right now. And how is that? She asked, stepping closer. You know exactly how. I muttered. She stopped, only inches away. Her centellian, sharp, a little sweet wrapped around me. She lifted my chin with one finger. You smell less frightened today, she murmured. I may be, but only because I'm half dead from yesterday. Good, she said. Then you will not dodge breakfast. She turned away again. I stood there, cheeks burning. You're cooking? I asked. Yes, I studied human recipes. I made eggs. I looked at the pan. The eggs were purple. Eggs aren't supposed to be purple. She frowned. But you are human. I am alien. This is cultural compromise. That's not how cooking works. She flicked her ear in annoyance. Ungrateful human. Then you cook. I literally can't, I said. I nearly burned down a diner once by reheating noodles. Zelara stared at me, horrified. You need constant supervision. Please don't supervise me like I'm a toddler. You would make an adorable toddler, she said thoughtfully. Very round, very small, very scream-wide. She laughed, lips curved, eyes bright. God help me, she was beautiful. She plated the purple eggs and placed them in front of me. I poked them. They jiggled. Zelara folded her arms. Eat. I don't think these are legally considered food. Eat. I sighed, bracing myself for death. and took a bite. My jaw stopped mid. I blinked. This is actually good. She smirked. Of course, I followed instructions precisely. I glanced at the scorched cooking terminal. You burned the instructions. They resisted. I snorted. She beamed. Clearly proud, she made me laugh. After breakfast, she sat across from me, elbows on the table. Eyes fixed on mine. Marcus, she said softly, we need to talk. Every atom in my body panicked about us. My heart did a backflip. Yes, she said, leaning forward. You are too distracting. When I am near you, I lose focus. My heart rate increases. I think illogical thoughts. And last night, she hesitated. Last night, I could not sleep. My own heart did that thing where it pounded loud enough to echo emo. I said intelligently. I kept remembering what you said. She continued. Beautiful. No one calls Axamorian warriors beautiful. Terrifying. Yes. Deadly. Yes, but beautiful. Only you said that. Well, I muttered, looking away. You are. She stared at me in silence for a long, heavy moment. Then she exhaled, frustrated. Marcus, humans are too gentle with words. It confuses me. Confuses you how? You flirt, then panic, then flirt more, then pretend the flirting did not happen. That's called being a human male. It is inefficient, she said bluntly. Yep, well, we're not exactly optimized for romance. I noticed, she grumbled. So I decided something. I swallowed. What? Exactly. She stood up, walked around the table, stopped right next to me. Her hand rested on my shoulder. Her voice lowered. I choose you. My heartbeat stopped entirely. Zelara, do you choose me? I opened my mouth, then the ship made a noise. A bad noise, a noise that sounded like a dying whale gargling nails. We both froze. Zelara leaned toward me. Was that your ship? No, I whispered. That was my ship, screaming. We rushed to the engine room. Smoke, sparks, flames. Lots of flames. Zelara looked at me slowly. Marcus, she said, voice flat. Did you leave the coolant valve open? No, Marcus, maybe. She rubbed her temples. Marcus, I'm 80% sure I closed it, and the missing 20% might be screaming at us. She sighed, lifted an entire engine panel with one hand, and shoved it aside like it weighed nothing. Stand back, she ordered. I will fix this. No, I said firmly. We fix it together. You said teamwork. She stared at me. Her eyes softened again. Very well, she whispered. Together, we jumped into the chaos. She held the panel steady while I tightened bolts. She handed me tools before I asked for them. We moved like a synced system, even under pressure. At one point she steadied me with a hand on my waist so I wouldn't fall into the pipework. Careful, she murmured. Your bones worry me. That's anatomically insulting. Your bones are adorable, she argued. That is not better. The fire died. The engine hummed normally again. We collapsed against a wall. Panting. Zelara turned to me. You are reckless, she said softly. You're bossy. You are small. You're overwhelming. You are fragile. You're terrifying. She paused. Then smiled. But you choose me still. I swallowed. Yes, I said, voice barely above a whisper. I choose you. Something lit in her eyes, warm, bright, unbelievable. She leaned closer. Closer. Then the intercom beeped. Warning, hull breach detected. Zelara hissed. I hate your ship, Sing. We ran to the cargo bay and found a small asteroid lodged in the hull, slowly rotating like it regretted its life choices. Zelara, Marcus, how long has this been here? I don't know. A few hours, and you did not hear it. I was distracted by you. She froze. I froze. Everything froze. You were distracted, she repeated slowly. I cleared my throat. Extremely distracted, her cheeks darkened to a deeper purple. First, she stepped closer, her voice dropping an octave. Marcus, yes. Repeat that. No, repeat. I said, I was distracted. By you. She inhaled sharply, like she'd been waiting centuries to hear it. Then she exhaled in a rush. Good, she murmured, because I am distracted as well. We fixed the hull together, still flustered, still pretending this was normal. Finally, when everything was stable again, she turned to me with a look that melted my bones. Marcus, she whispered, you said you choose me. I choose you too, but I need to know something. What is it? She hesitated. Then, will you stand with me? Against my father, if needed. My stomach twisted. Your father, the emperor? Yes, she said. He does not tolerate disobedience, and I have disobeyed him. What did you do? She met my gaze with fierce determination. I told him, she said quietly, that the human mechanic he sent me as a joke is mine. My heart dropped into my shoes. What did he say? She smiled darkly. He is coming. He's what? Tomorrow. Zelara. Watch. Tomorrow. She stepped closer, cupping my face gently. Do not fear, she murmured. You chose me. I chose you, and I will protect what is mine. I stared at her beautiful, terrifying, glowing, confident. Zelara. My alien princess. You really think I'm yours? I whispered yes, she said, brushing her forehead to mine. And I am yours. Then she smirked, but we will discuss the details of that arrangement. Tonight, my heart absolutely exploded. Marcus stood there like a man who had just accidentally pressed the self-destruct button on his own sanity, because Zelara, princess of the Obsidian Empire, supreme chaos of his life, had just kissed him like she wanted to sign an intergalactic treaty directly on his lips. She looked equally shocked. Wide purple eyes, silver hair cascading down her armor, lips parted like she was trying to figure out whether this counted as a royal scandal or a personal victory. So, Marcus finally managed. That happened. Zelara cleared her throat, which still sounded like a purr even when she was mortified. A scientific misfire happens. My species sometimes experiences involuntary gravitational bonding impulses during moments of heightened emotion. Marcus blinked. A gravitational impulse made you kiss me. Yes, she nodded firmly. He stared. Her ears twitched. Okay, maybe 90% gravitational impulse, 10% curiosity, she muttered. Zelara, fine. 70. He raised an eyebrow. 50-50, she folded her arms. He kept the eyebrow raised. Okay, fine, she groaned, rubbing her forehead. My brain said no, my heart said maybe, and my body said well, you were standing there with that face. Marcus crossed his arms. This face, that exact face, the one that keeps doing things to me, the one that looks like it knows exactly how to ruin a planet's diplomatic balance. Marcus tried extremely hard not to smile. I'm just standing here. Yes, she said dramatically, and that is the problem. A beat. She sighed and leaned back against the metal crate. Marcus, I do not do this. I don't flirt. I don't tease. I don't collide gravitationally with people. My father would vaporize entire moons to prevent this. Marcus smirked. Your father sent you to Earth as a joke. Yes, she said darkly, and he thought a human would run away screaming from me. He underestimated two things. Let me guess. Marcus leaned in. 1. Me. 2. You. Zelara's lips curved into a mischievous smirk. Correct. Humans are infuriatingly stubborn. And I am not as terrifying as he wants me to be. Marcus lifted her chin lightly, thumb brushing her jaw. You're not terrifying. You're stunning. Her breath caught. She tried to pretend it didn't, but even her ears betrayed her by turning slightly violet pink. You need to stop doing that, she whispered. What? Saying things that make my internal temperature spike. I am a cold-blooded species. Do you know how inconvenient it is when you cause biological reactions I'm not built for? Marcus laughed softly. You like it. I do not like. She paused. The fact that you keep making me feel things. What kind of things? She narrowed her eyes. Marcus, do not make me say it. He stepped closer, close enough that their bodies almost touched. Say it. Zelara exhaled like a woman being forced to confess a forbidden secret. Attraction. Marcus took her hands gently. Zelara, you don't need to hide that from me. I'm not hiding it, she said, flustered. I'm trying to survive it. A laugh escaped him, and Zelara pushed his shoulder lightly, trying to look upset but failing miserably. Marcus caught her wrist. Come here. She swallowed. Marcus, he pulled her in not forcefully, but with a certainty that made her exhale sharply and land against his chest. Zelara stared up at him, stunned. This is illegal on my planet. Good thing we're on Earth. She opened her mouth to protest, closed it again, struggled, then muttered. I hate that logic works. Marcus brushed a strand of silver hair away from her face. Zelara, yes, I liked the kiss. Her eyes widened, head snapping back a little, ears flicking like they were buffering new information. You what? I liked it. Why? She demanded. Humans usually panic when aliens touch their faces. Marcus smiled. Maybe I'm not most humans. You are absolutely not, she muttered. Most humans do not make my heart do wiggly things. He chuckled. Wiggly. Yes, wiggly, she snapped. My people do not wiggle internally. We maintain composure. We are dignified. Marcus kissed her. It was slow, warm, deliberate, nothing like the electric shock of the first kiss. Her entire body melted against him, and the moment his lips left hers, she whispered, I am going to faint, and leaned her forehead against his chest. Marcus held her steady, amused. You okay? No, she said weakly. I am overheating, emotionally and physically. Want to sit down? No, if I sit, I might never get up. He laughed softly, rubbing her back. She whispered, Marcus, yes, your species is dangerous. You mean romantic? I mean dangerous. Her voice dropped a sultry, breathy warning. You are weaponizing kindness and flirting. It's unfair. He cupped her cheek gently. It's only unfair if you want me to stop. She didn't answer. Instead, her hands slid up his chest slowly, almost like she wasn't aware she was doing it, till they reached his shoulders. Her voice was barely a whisper. Don't stop. Marcus froze for a moment, then pulled her in again. This kiss was deeper, more confident. Zelara made a soft sound, half growl, half signed. Her fingers curled around the back of his shirt like she didn't want to let go. When they finally broke apart, she gasped. Okay, enough. Stop. I need to process. My heart is having a small revolution. Want me to stop for real? Absolutely not, she said instantly. But give me 5 minutes to reboot my brain. Marcus laughed out loud. Zelara paced in circles like a neurotic cat, muttering to herself. Why is he so warm? Why does he smell so good? Why is he built like a heroic statue? Why am I reacting like a teenager discovering romance novels? This is a disaster. A lovely, horrible disaster. Marcus leaned against the crate. Zelara. She pointed at him dramatically. Do not say anything charming. Zelara, she covered her face with her hands. Marcus, I said don't. He walked over, gently prying her hands away. Look at me. She peeked between her fingers like she was negotiating a hostage situation. Hey, he said softly, you don't have to figure everything out today. I already did, she grumbled. I like you. I hate that I like you. I love that I like you. I am emotionally compromised. This is unacceptable. Marcus laughed. You know what's funny? No, nothing is funny. My heart is in mutiny. I like you too. Her hands froze mid-air. You do, she whispered. You're smart, hilarious, dramatic, in the best way, brave, and you look at me like I'm more than just a human on a conveyor belt. Zelara blinked rapidly. I don't know how to respond to that. Try this, Marcus said softly. Say you'll stay. She looked stunned. Stay. With me, with Earth, with us. He could see the war in her mind, duty versus desire, fear versus feeling. Finally, she stepped close, slipped her hands into his, and whispered, I'll stay. Marcus let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. Yeah, yes. Her voice softened. Because you treat me like a person, not a princess, not a weapon, not a political joke. He pressed his forehead to hers. You're none of those things here. She closed her eyes, smiling. Here, I am just Zelara, and I'm just Marcus. She laughed quietly. We are ridiculous, very a human and a purple alien princess, with great chemistry and terrible self-control. And even worse timing. They both laughed. Then Zelara smirked. So what happens now? Marcus grinned. I think we officially start whatever this is. Zelara nodded, cheeks turning violet again. Then, Marcus, yeah. She leaned up and whispered against his ear. Come claim me before my father figures out he accidentally sent me to the one planet where the men are my type. Marcus choked on air. Zelara, she winked. What? You wanted bold? He ran a hand down his face. You're going to be the death of me. Possibly, she said cheerfully, but what a way to go. Marcus laughed, pulled her into his arms, and kissed her deep and certain. And this time, Zelara didn't panic. She kissed him back with full confidence like she had finally decided that this human was hers. When they pulled apart, she whispered, Marcus, yes, you are mine. He smiled. And you're mine. Their fingers intertwined. Her forehead rested on his. The future a disaster, a miracle, a comedy waiting to explode lay wide open, and for the first time in her life, Zelara wasn't afraid of it. She was ready, and Marcus was too.